I think kids usually have a really good grasp of what's morally right by the time they're like 12.
Yeah.
So by the time you're 12, you'll know if a teacher's bullshitting you, and like if a teacher's bullshitting you and getting away with it makes you really fucking hate them.
You can tell when a teacher doesn't like you because they're quick to judge you at any chance they get.
Like, yeah, there's little shitheads, right, and all that stuff, but when you're just like flat out just being a cunt, like kids can tell that like you don't have the smarts. I
fear getting in trouble
them.
though. Like if I got like I fear getting sent. Now I'd be like,
the thing is though,
I don't give a fuck.
You fear the first time you get in trouble until you get in trouble for the first time. The first time I got a detention, I'm like, this is it. And so if I ever got detention again, I'd be like, oh no.
I had detention every time it was on. Like
I got detention once.
Really?
Yeah, and that's what made it burn even more. It's like I could have gotten the entire way through school without detention, but this stupid utter fucking bitch gave me a detention because some asshole talked to me.
Oh yeah.
Fucking hate teachers.
I got a detention because I went into class, so everybody was quiet. I just got in from school. Like, I just came in. It was early.
Yeah.
And I'm like, sorry I was late. I said that to her. And then she's like, detention. I'm like, why? And she's like, because you're talking. And I'm like, okay, how's that a problem? She's like, you're still talking. And then she pointed at the board. It's like, don't talk. And I'm like, I just got in. And so she gave me detention. And she was adamant about keeping me after school. My mom even came and she's like, that's really snaky thing for you to do. And she was like, still adamant to give me a fucking detention.
That one time,
my mom came to the rescue.
One time my art teacher threatened me with detention. It was I think I told this story before, but that was the day my mom it was so good. Basically, I was like in art class and like everyone's ready to go home. My bag is on my back. Then the art teacher was a psycho fat bitch. She turns around, points at me like, you threw a nail in my eye! And I was like, excuse me?
A nail?
Yeah, and I was like, no I didn't. She's like, detention! I was like, fucking whatever. And I like,
a nail in her eye?
Yeah, and I left. I went out to the car and I was like, I just got detention because my art teacher said I threw a nail in her eye. And my mom was like, Chris, you're such a fucking idiot. You're like, what did you do? And I was like, I didn't do anything. And my mom's like, you're little asshole. I was like, Mom, go in there right now and just talk to her. My mom's like, for fuck's sake, right? She got out of the car and she came back. She's like, she's a fucking psycho. And I was like, I know! And then she didn't give me the detention after.
What happened?
I don't fucking know.
Your mom didn't say?
No.
I got suspended a few times as well. Like, I was like a class.
You were a fucking asshole.
I got suspended.
I was a good kid. I was just dumb.
I was good, yeah.
I got suspended because I got this new phone and it was the first smartphone ever. And I was so happy. It cost me €500. I saved up for it.
Yeah,
I was like using it. And I was on a school bus and it fell behind a seat. And I was like, shit. And then people were like reaching their hands down to help me get it. And one of the guys stole it. And some guy stole it. And I found out like a month later he stole it, so I stole his phone. Actually, the school knacker stole his phone and gave it to me and goes, here's your comeuppance. I was like, oh yeah. I was like, cool. And then like he told the principal that I stole his phone, and I got suspended. He was fine. He was completely like let go.
I do not understand how suspension is a punishment.
Oh yeah,
suspension is great.
Well, it's because of your parents. The wrath. You have to face the wrath of your parents.
Who cares? Like, you're still out of school. Anything's better than that.
We had our suspension entailed us going to the sponge factory with retarded people. We had to put sponges in plastic bags. This is real.
What?
Yeah. Did I say this on a podcast?
No.
Our out-school suspension involved us going to a sponge factory with retarded people, and we stuck sponges in plastic bags and then pushed them through a conveyor belt.
It's actually it's a miracle that you're as normal as you are. Like seriously, like your life is weird.
You're just standing between all these like pinhead dipshits.
They're really trying to put the sponges in the bags. They're like, okay, done.
It's the most retarded sentence on the planet. It's like trying to put a sponge in a bag.
Corey, like sometimes like you're like a randomizer machine where you just generate a sentence in English.
It's fact, okay? It was out school. It was like, I don't know what you call it. It's like after service or something for people, and they needed people because, you know, if it sounds rude, but when you retarded people put sponges, like retarded works on the factory line, they do their job, but
so they're usually like baggers or sponge workers.
Yeah, and I was the person who gave the person the bag for the sponges.
They're retards.
Yeah, and he would take the sponge with this vacant look on his face. He just you. He just keep doing that, and I just put the bag there, just fucking drag it across the
say that again, do it.
Corey, what if that was like your calling? What if the out of school suspension like opened up your eyes to a new world?
The factory fucking burned down. Not with the retards in it. That retard was still trying to grab the bag.
You can still hear the oohs to this day. It's haunted. You walk through it and you just hear, oh, thank you.
It was weird too because like when it was lunch break, there was a giant whistle that goes off, and then they go, oh, they would all do like the wave.
For those who don't see, Cory just put his hands in the air. They all go,
They wouldn't make noises. They just like all do this. They all do the wave at the same time.
Right.
And then they would go eat their fucking sandwiches.
Did they all drop their
Go eat their sponges.
Then they grab a sponge and start eating it. He'd be like, get your
Cory, is this real?
No, that part isn't real. But the wave and shit.
Was the wave real?
Let me tell you.
Please tell me the wave is real.
No, the wave is real. Yeah, they went to eat food, but me and my friends, we were crying, laughing. We had to we were like hyperventilating by the end of it. And the people come in and they're like, because they thought that the chemicals or whatever was like fucking with us. They were like, "Are you okay? Do you need to take a break?" And I'm like, "No, I'm fine."
It sounds like a punishment at all. It sounds like actual the funniest shit ever.
Oh my god!
You just sit in a chair with your friends laughing and handing them bags. That was a job.
The teacher's like, "Did you learn your lesson?" Yeah, it was for funny.
It was a food fight. Oh, dude.
Thank you.
He was like, he looked like the kid, the one famous retarded kid from The Ringer, but he was like more balding in the middle of his head. Like it kind of like that weird.
Oh,
like,
he was
Asian,
an actual Down syndrome.
He was
person.
like 20 something. But yeah, there was like three. There was like a girl who had like a squished face, and then him who had like a big head.
This is too much, Cory.
It was funny. It was.
I'm gonna die.
They eventually changed it up because like the teachers started realizing what kids were doing.
What
they
were
were
they
getting
doing?
in trouble so they could go to the retard factory. Their words that they heard at school. They heard at school like these kids were laughing. We're like, dude, let's just beat the shit out of somebody so we go to the retard factory.
Beat the shit out of the retard.
So they changed the game plan to picking up garbage on the side of a highway.
It's so like, dude, fuck school. Let's go to the retard sponge factory. It's so funny. Everyone's just getting in trouble on purpose.
What was your guys' out school suspension?
We had to go home.
Yeah,
go home.
that's the thing. That's what I'm saying.
One
so
day,
for us,
man.
it's like you get off school. It's like what? How's that a fucking?
And then they
thing?
give you
was-
assignments when you come back, so you can.
Your
Like,
parents
catch
have to
up.
go
I
to
have a
work
sco-
anyways. It's not like
I was like, oh god, all the teachers hated me, especially the principal who was this. I think he got like in trouble for like something to stealing money or something, but like he was a fucking beady-eyed prick, right? And he hated
You guys
me.
have a lot of like beady-eyed, pig-faced pricks.
Oh, I hated this guy, and he hated me.
Yeah.
I had a note for why I didn't have my school uniform on.
School uniforms. You have uniforms?
Yeah, because I left it in my friend's house, and I had a note written by my parents, and he said, "Go, leave the school now." I was like, "I have a note." And he's like, "Nope, get the fuck out." And I went out, and I was actually thinking, I was like, "I'm gonna jump in front of a car and break my leg just so he will get it in deep shit." I was
Holy shit.
so close to like not to die, but like something like to break my leg or something just to get him kicked out.
Yeah.
I went into an internet cafe and just played Counter-Strike for like 5 hours.
That's
And
awesome.
I kind of ditched school like quite a bit. Not to be like, oh, I ditched school, but
I
like,
ditched
Well,
college.
loads of people used to do
I
that.
ditched school so
ditched
much just to go to an
college.
internet
I
cafe.
never did. I was too scared because my dad works in town, so
Yeah.
he'd definitely see me.
Yeah. Oh,
so
you're
I
right.
I
couldn't
still
do
have
it.
dreams sometimes where I just wake up and I'm like in class and I'm failing and they're like,
Yeah, no,
you
everyone
have
has
zeros
that.
in all your
In your-
classes.
in your-
That's like mental scarring forever.
In your dreams, though, is it still the present day? And it's like, you walk in,
Yeah,
you're like,
it's still-
I haven't been to
my
school.
age.
I'm like, I haven't been to school in 6 years. I am fucked.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone else is like,
Exactly.
blah, 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 and you're like, oh my.
I go into
God.
school and I'm like, they're like, here's all the assignments. You have till the end of the month to get them done. I'm like, oh my god, I've been 9 years late to school.
Yeah, I was like, I'm
Or
7
10
years behind in my assignments. Fuck.
I don't think school's for everybody by a long shot.
No.
No,
it's not.
That's why you're allowed to drop out when you're 15. I think that's fair.
You're allowed to?
Well, in Ireland, yeah, you can do FOSS courses, which is like courses where like carpentry. And,
Well, I didn't know that, but I wouldn't have liked any of the stuff that you'd be allowed to do anyway.
yeah, it's usually kind of trade work.
bullshit.
School is like, it's like, it's supposed to teach you like basic social skills and stuff, but that stuff you kind of.
At this point, there should be like courses in schools that you can choose while you're a kid, and if you don't like them, you can fuck off.
You can in England. England is good because like you do 3 subjects and 3 that you like, and that's it.
Yeah.
And you'd look into them extensively.
I would have just done art, music, and
You can do that, and then
whatever English.
That's
go
what
off to
I would have
uni.
loved. I always had to have like an elective. Like I always had to have an extra class, even if I didn't fucking want it or need it. So I'd have to be like, oh, you need communications because everybody needs to do communications. Oh, you need a health class or something, like where you have to learn about health. It's like
I was like really
who
good at home ec.
cares? Home ec.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just good at that.
I was
for some
terrible at
reason.
home ec.
That was like my thing.
I couldn't sew. I couldn't cook. I couldn't do anything.
Remember when I had to do woodwork for transition year? You know why transition year is just a fuck off, let me do what I want kind of year?
Mhm.
Our woodwork teacher was a fucking idiot, and he was just like, you're supposed to be taking this seriously. It's like, fuck off, dude.
No one cares.
No one cares.
Yeah, I I took that my 8th grade year when I was going to high school in like fucking like next year, and I'm taking wood class, and it's like by the end of the year, and I'm coming in, and I'm like, he's just talking about woodwork, and I didn't care. I drew the whole time.
I liked woodwork.
I took it when I was leaving. Like I was in 8th grade. I'm like, this doesn't benefit me at all. I'm leaving next year in like 3 months.
No, that's the thing, right? So in Ireland, transition year is a year that is literally just so you can mature. You don't have to do anything. There's no exams.
That's what it should be.
It's literally just a year so you do 3 years, right? Then it's like, do you want to do transition year where you're like, yeah, I need a fucking break after that. I was going to kill myself. So you take that year out just to do what you
in
want,
Ireland,
right?
there's a fuck off year.
But it's optional, so you can do
when
it if you
you're
want.
16.
And basically, what it's supposed to be is that it's like, yeah, just experience life. We'll give you some things to do and blah blah blah, but don't take it too seriously. That's what it's supposed to be.
And they want you to like set up a business and just get a feel for things.
This fucking cunt was like, no, you need to make a birdhouse. And we're just like, fuck off, right? So every day I came in, I got my same plank of wood, and I just hammered nails into it for a whole year. So by the end of the year, it was like 2,000 nails and one plank of wood. He was just like, by the end of it, he was like, you know what, you're a lost cause. And I was like, yeah, thanks, straight on the lost cause.